In the vast training grounds of the unified Galactic Coalition Academy, species from hundreds of planets train together to become peacekeepers of the stars. Among them, humans were new barely a decade into interstellar membership. Considered primitive by most species, humans were often ignored or worse, humiliated. Cadet Marcus Hale, a lean but sharp-eyed human, stood in formation beside creatures twice his size. He said little, observed everything. That day's drill instructor was Sergeant Thralk of the Grudaria reptilian species known for strength and short tempers. Thralk loomed over the cadets, shouting commands in a guttural bark. When he reached Marcus, something shifted. "Human," Thralk sneered. "You barely qualify as sentient. Why does your kind even bother?" Marcus remained silent, eyes ahead. The Grudari sergeant stepped closer, his breath hot and foul. "I said, answer me, fleshling." "I'm here to learn," Marcus replied evenly. Thralk's scaled arm snapped out without warning. His massive clawed hand cracked across Marcus's face. The sound echoed across the yard. Other cadets flinched, even the Avarians, known for their emotionless logic. Marcus stumbled. Blood trickled from his lip. He didn't retaliate. He simply straightened, wiped his chin, and locked eyes with Thralk. 5 minutes later, the training compound's alarm blared. It wasn't a drill. High Command's voice rang out. "Grudari Battalion en route for unsanctioned live fire exercise. All cadets stand down. This is not a simulation." Thralk's unit, a full combat regiment, descended from orbit in dropships, heavily armed. No one knew why. Some claimed it was a show of force. Others suspected a coup. But all agreed it was madness. The Grudari commander demanded Marcus. "Hand over the human cadet," the transmission blared, "or we raise this entire facility." Thralk, stunned, tried to de-escalate. It was a simple disciplinary strike. Nothing more. Too late. The Grudari weren't listening. Instructors scrambled to evacuate cadets. Officers debated negotiation. Weapons were primed, but everyone knew the odds. The base wasn't built for war. It was a school. Marcus stood alone near the perimeter, staring at the descending dropships. He reached into his locker, pulling out a sleek black case. No one noticed. No one stopped him. Inside was an object no one had seen before, at least not at the academy. A sealed weapon, encoded to his DNA. It looked old, human-built. A low hum filled the air as the first Grudari ship landed. 5 minutes later, the war was over. The entire Grudari battalion soldiers, ships, equipment was obliterated. No energy signatures, no beam weapons, no missiles, just silence and ash. When the dust cleared, Marcus stood alone in the crater where the battalion had landed. Uniform scorched, face expressionless. The weapon in his hand retracted into itself with a soft hiss. Command arrived in panic, expecting to find carnage. What they found was one human cadet and nothing else. No trace of Grudari. No wreckage. Just fused glassy earth. They questioned him. "What happened?" "They slapped the wrong species," Marcus said. The news spread fast. Across the galaxy, holo feeds ran with headlines. Grudari regiment vanished human cadet suspected. Coalition shaken by display of human power. Earth responds with silence. Speculations ignited. Was it alien tech? Secret human weapons? A fluke? But Earth said nothing. Back at the academy, the atmosphere changed. Cadets who once mocked Marcus now gave him a wide berth. Even Thralk, demoted and disgraced, avoided his gaze. One night, a group of Avarian tacticians cornered him in the mess hall. "That weapon," one asked, "it wasn't in the Coalition database." "What was it?" Marcus stirred his drink. "Prototype. Earth made it during the Silence Wars. Never deployed. The Avarian's eyes widened. You mean those wars you never told the galaxy about? We lost communication with the rest of the galaxy for 37 years, Marcus said. You thought we went quiet because we were behind. He leaned forward. We weren't behind. We were busy surviving. Later, records would confirm Marcus Hale was part of Project Ashlight, a human initiative created during Earth's darkest war. The weapon was a singularity blade, designed not to kill individuals, but to erase entire battlefields. It was banned by every human government before contact with the galaxy resumed. But Marcus carried it. Not for offense. Not for glory. For moments like this. The Galactic Coalition realized too late they had welcomed humanity, but never bothered to understand it. They measured Earth by its size, not its resilience. By its technology, not its trauma. And Marcus Hale had reminded them of a universal truth. You don't slap a species that clawed its way out of extinction